Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Alright, so our jobs for the day are as such. As always, Galf is a monk, because Monk Galf's just really good, and I want more levels on it. Also, I just want a good physical attacker. Because we've got White Mage Bartz, because he's so damn close to leveling White Mage. We are at the point where we really want higher level casting. Time Mage Lena, same reason. We've got some real good spells coming up that we're absolutely want to make more use of, so higher level and that would be good, and Bard just as miscellany. I just want to be done with Bard, I don't care about it that much.
3 well thought out jobs, and Ferris, we need a 4th job.
Ferris could be a summoner, but... Bard, though. Get that out of the way. Alright, so... we're heading for the Forest of Moor, but this is the Town of Moor. So let's see what we got in the pub. Alright, yeah, in case you didn't go to, Sage Guido first, this is going to clue you in on the fact that, the forest does have opinions, and if you don't go to Guido's abode first, the forest's opinion is that you should fuck off.
Get calling Kopu Kopu or something. I don't know. Sound made up.
Oh. Piano. Piano sighted. Ferris, go. Alright, good job, Ferris. Now we can summon a big robot with the power of tea time.
I was gonna say, I recognize that one. Don't know what it's called, though. Just recognize the way it sounds.
Alright, so we've very nearly seen the point of those pianos. Ferris is getting better at playing. It is a bard-based ability, so... there you go.
Damn it, I was gonna say, what do you mean the point? The point is to get better at the piano.
We are doing it specifically. There's a mechanic for all you who really just need a gameplay reason to get good at the piano. Though considering the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm sure that minigame has rewards, but I also feel like a lot of people are going to be doing some real ridiculous bullshit with that piano.
I remember when I played this game as a kid, and I got the reward for playing all the pianos, and I was shocked that there was a point to that. I just did it because I thought playing the piano was fun.
Alright, so we've got 2 weapons, Air Knife and Elven Bow. I mean, that's a pretty strong bow, I guess.
You ever think they run out of one of those things? Do you ever go to Air Knife and Elven Bow and they don't have any Elven Bows?
We're also out of Bear Claws, sorry.
Damn it, I forgot that joke.
Alright, oh dang, we're getting some real good spells here. Oh, Hastegar, my old friend. So yeah, you absolutely want to come to Moor's spell shop because we've got some real good spells. We've got the highest tier elemental spells, highest heal spell. Berserk was in there, but Hastegar is also there, which is just what if haste, but for the entire party. So that pairs up well with Sloga, which is what if slow, but for all the enemies. Thank you, Branch. Alright, well, no time like the present. Let's enter the forest and almost immediately get attacked by trees. Okay, so, the Forest of Moor.
Trees and their little buddies.
Yeah, they're just these tiny little guys. These mini magicians, they're here for spells. They can be kind of tough, but they're very easily killable, the mini-magicians. Mammons, however, are pretty strong, or at least hardy. They also like casting Berserk, which isn't really a huge deal in this game. I don't think a Berserk tree is going to be that bad to fight. More annoyingly, however, they can also cast Berserk on the mini-magicians, which, you know, is bad for them strategically because they're mages. Why would they want to be attacking physically? But also, mini-magicians do have a blue mage spell, which I'll be getting eventually. But yeah, no, they can just absolutely screw their friends over.
I like the idea of an enemy encounter where, like, one of the enemies casts Berserk on a mage, and the mage just throws their cloak off, and they're, like, ripped underneath like a Yakuza boss.
God, I remember seeing a similar joke to that.
To be clear, I mean the video game series Yakuza, not necessarily
Uh-huh, yeah.
any actual criminals.
I feel like more people know the video game than the actual Yakuza
Well,
now.
it's not called Yakuza anymore,
Insert
is
that
it?
one church.
They've officially rebranded to Like a Dragon, and it's not that I don't respect that, I just can never remember to call it Like a Dragon. There's never ever been a game called Yakuza Infinite Wealth, and yet, that is all I ever refer it to as.
But yeah, I've absolutely seen a comic of just like a mage lady, just like, "Aw, dang, I'm out of spell slots. I'm sorry I have to beat your face in now." So, in terms of Forest of Moor, this is a dungeon which is going to go on for a while, not because the map itself is particularly big, but because the encounter rate in this one is just particularly high. I would like to point out that, the original video pre-editing was about an hour 6, I think? And now it's down to 42, so there was just a lot of fucking random battles. And on the note of random battles, if you don't think this is enough random battles in this forest, which it is plenty of battles already, I would actually like to mention something about the Gladiator ability that I don't think I said out loud. So, Gladiator at job level 1 gets the ability Lure, and Lure is unfortunately mistranslated pretty badly, which sucks because what it says actually sounds more interesting than the ability itself. What it says is, attract enemies' hits, which makes it sound like, in battle, it's going to draw enemies to attack a certain character, it's gonna aggro on them, which would be so useful for Lena, especially if she were a knight or dragoon. However, no, Lure is your encounter increase ability. So, if you ever equip that, you are going to get into so many fights.
I always hate abilities like that. I'd much rather have, like, a sweet scent or a whistle. Just give me a button I can push and then fight something.
Yeah, it basically just exists as a thing that takes up one of your ability slots for the sake of grinding. Like, slightly faster grinding. It doesn't make fights faster, it just gets you to them quicker, but I think when you actually sit down to grind, it doesn't actually take that long to find a fight, so I don't know. A lot of the Game Boy Advance exclusive classes do have stuff like that, like, one of them has, like, experience up, one of them has ability points up. But I think Lure is probably the least useful out of all of them. Trust me, I have tried Lure out, you get into so many fights. Like, at one point I tried to show it off, but, like, I just could not. It did not make for a good recording, because I was trying to get from Ball Castle to the Gill Cave, and it was too many fights. I didn't show it, but I can tell you from experience, it will get you a lot of fights. You'll take 2 steps, bam.
I will say, I played Dragon Quest VII recently, and having a menu option you can select to just do a fight right now, so much faster for grinding.
Yep.
Anyways, these guys.
Yeah, so Imps as the name would suggest basically just try to fuck with you. They'll try to confuse you, they'll try to hit you with sap, which is sort of a drain spell. Well, there's a thing literally called drain. They don't heal from it, it's just... you'll start losing HP every second. Now, the good news is, their accuracy kinda sucks ass. They're just real bad at actually hitting you with anything. Take that!
Just notice he's wrapping his tail around his own leg.
Yeah, I kinda do like that detail. That's cute. Very unneeded but appreciated detail they just added.
I bet it's a lot easier to tell in the Pixel Remaster. I love anytime you jump with a class that isn't Dragoon.
Mm-hmm. They're not made for this!
I love how the mini magicians always just look like they're lost.
I'm in my pajamas. I'm supposed to be at home taking a nap.
Also, I never paid attention to the enemy names here because I did not notice that the weird vortex men are just called Gala Jellies. Anyway, Gala Jelly will absorb all basic elements, so... if you try to summon on their ass, they'll just heal from that. I know that because my main goal for most of these fights is just summon it to do damage to everything else, because the thing about Gala Jellies is... their HP sucks ass. So honestly, even if you do heal them at the start of a fight, doesn't matter. You can just punch them to death really easily. Anyway, Lilliputian Lyric is absolutely the ability I want!
Fucking Sega Pico looking ass.
So that's Blue Magic. You can now shrink enemies with Blue Mage.
I can never remember how Lilliputian is supposed to be pronounced.
Me neither. I have not heard it pronounced particularly often, or even really seen it very often either.
Oh, what, you didn't go watch the Gulliver's Travels movie starring Jack Black?
No.
I don't know why I remember that. That was from that period of Jack Black's life where he was like no longer a weird underground guy, but he also wasn't like beloved internet icon like he is now. So it's just like, he just did a lot of movies that...
I fully recommend using a cottage here because, like I said, I cut out a lot of fights from this episode, and most fights involve me using a lot of MP. Because Lena alone I usually have starting with Hastka, because Hastka is just useful. Love to go fast. Oh! Though I guess we're not going fast here. What's going on? Let's see, let's go to a bird's eye view and... oh, okay! Whole forest is on fire.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you...
The great forest of Moor is currently on fire.
I can't believe the tree is burning his own home to the ground. How dare he? Okay, so, first things first, open that chest right now. Do not wait. This is a section where we're kind of just wandering around. There's no clear way to go, because everything's on fire. We can't go back, but we're kind of just waiting for things to happen. But again, do not wait on that Aegis shield, because that's a relatively good shield in terms of defensive power. However, mostly it exists to sometimes absorb a basic elemental spell. So if somebody tries casting like Fire, Blizzard, or Thunder on you, there's a good chance you will just say, no, actually. You didn't. I choose to ignore your cast. Anyway, that old man did hint that there are Moogles in this forest. So, thank you for the help. And we land gently. Alright, so heal up, and we do actually have to wait a minute before we can actually move on, because this Moogle's over here is blocking the door. So until the way is clear, I guess we'll just, equip that Aegis shield, and hey, what do you know? Start moving around after that. So, we're going to go over to this chest, and it's now empty. However, if we go over to a different chest, which exists to, prove the point if you picked up the Aegis shield, you obtained Ash. Yes, that is literally just Ash. It's not a weapon, not armor, not an accessory. It's the burnt remains of an item. The Flame Tongue is intact because it's a fire sword, but if you do not recover the Aegis shield from the box, it is also burned to ash. Wait, hold on. Small correction real quick. A thing I didn't actually realize is it's not entirely burnt up. Instead, you'll just find a flame shield. I guess the implication is that the Blizzard and Thunder bits got burnt off the shield? No, whatever. Anyway, technically this means you get a choice between two different items, but I personally think the Aegis shield is just better overall, since it does have more versatility. But yeah, it is changed, but apparently just not as severely as whatever was in the other box. Because while it can absorb basic elements, apparently it cannot stop a forest fire, which is apparently a different thing. And now we are within the Guardian Tree. We haven't seen Exdeath yet though, so, still don't know what he's up to. Doesn't have anything to do with these squigglies. Oh no, aggressive squigglies! Okay, so, here is the Crystals boss. So, for some reason the guide I'm using has like an ultra-specific, like strategy for this boss, and I don't know why. I don't think they're that difficult, though they are, they do some damage. And they all have different strengths and weaknesses, as well as different things that they absorb. So, apparently they're also weak to instant death as well, so if you want to do that, you can. In terms of strategy, though, it is pretty much just... I would suggest focusing on mostly one for a bit, though. I'll be doing damage to all of them except for the one on the top. Gallop, I don't think they're going to be tempted by your wiles. They are kind of just puddles of ice.
Fishing for sword dances.
But yeah, the big thing about this boss is they do have threshold attacks, so... if you do too much damage to them, once they get to a certain point, they will start kicking your ass, so you're gonna want to really double down on killing them. And while I do have Reflect up, unfortunately, Reflect is one of the few spells that will wear off over time. I say unfortunately, but actually considering the healing situation, that probably is for the best, but still. I wanted to do this ahead of time, in hopes I could catch them, but yeah, Reflect wears off, so by the time they actually do start trying to attack me with big spells, it's gonna be too late. Should we really be using Hellfire after this forest burned down?
Oh, what, we gonna burn it down a second time?
There were still trees left. Now everything here's super dry. I guess while we're at it, so I cut out a bunch of fights that happened after the fire. I was really hoping initially that, like, after the fire, the tree enemies no longer appeared, because, like, I got 3 or 4 in a row where I just did not see tree enemies. I was like, oh, did the tree enemies disappear because they also burnt down? But no, they are technically, like, monsters under Xdeath's control, so they didn't die. They're not a natural part of this ecosystem. Also, if you're wondering, no, the battle background does not change after the forest fire, so unfortunately, you don't get a burned forest background. It's a bit of a shame because it's kind of whiplash to be like, oh god, Xdeath actually just burnt this entire forest? How could he? To, oh, look at it, it's lush again. It's fine. Yeah, for all this Reflect I've been casting, I kinda just killed that first crystal like it was no thing. And second off, yeah, it's already wearing off on the first characters I cast it on, so... I was really kinda hoping to catch him, though. If I just Swords Danced more, it would've been fine.
I mentioned Gulliver's Travels earlier. And did you know there's more to that book than just the tiny people?
I think so?
Because that's the first volume. The second volume is the big people. The third volume is the sky people. And then the fourth volume is the horse people. And I'm not lying about any of that.
Years later, the sequel is just about medium-sized people, and honestly, real miss from the author. Kinda missed the entire point.
People only talk about the tiny people, and I just found like a paragraph summarizing it, and it sounds like the person writing it is forgetting what words are. Because it's just, everyone's heard of Lilliput, anime fans know of Laputa, some MLP fans might know of Hoinhums, fewer know of Brobdingnang, and almost nobody has heard of Lugnag or Glovdubdrib. It's like, okay, Grandpa, time to go to bed. Also, I have to bring up... I'm sorry to talk about Gulliver's Travels so fucking much. I have to bring up the Laputa thing. So... Ghibli took that name for their own Castle in the Sky in the anime movie Castle in the Sky. The issue is that Laputa was called that because it's Spanish for the whore. It's La Puta. Which I'm pretty sure is why the international title for that film doesn't have the name of the castle in it. I'm pretty sure in Japanese, Laputa is in the title, and internationally it's not. And I also think that the castle just had to be completely fucking renamed in the Spanish release.
Mm-hmm.
But they kept it in the English release, which is weird because, like, that was released in America. America has a huge Spanish-speaking population. They know. They know what it means.
Also, I mentioned these crystals have different weaknesses, but actually they do all just ignore electricity and ice. So, Judgment Bolt was completely useless. Though, if I remember correctly, Bio should still be fine. This is pretty much just me spamming Ifrit, because otherwise they absorb most other elements. And Chocobo is not reliable. Overall, I would say though, like, yeah, biggest thing to do is to not just do even damage, because I think we did see that one of them has Aqua Breath, which I guess you could pick this up here if you didn't already, but also Aqua Breath is pretty dangerous. You do not want all four of these guys doing their thing at one time. And now Ferris doesn't really have much to do. Does kind of keep going though.
Unfortunately, I've run out of things from Gulliver's Travels to talk about.
I pulled up the boss info, and apparently they all have 7,777 HP, so yeah, that's why this takes a while. Though, I guess theoretically, if I just hit them with 1,000 needles 8 times, that's it, so considering everybody else is doing damage, have to do it even less than that, though. Also, I've not been doing any damage against this guy in the first place because, you know, fire. He likes fire, loves fire, can't get enough of it. Just kept eating it.
But not Space Fire. Comet still hurts him. Space Fire is bad.
Look, Comet is also chunks of rock, it's fine. It's like space just decided to kill somebody with a rock. Is that fucked up? I can't be sure. Anyway, that's it, that's the fight. Oh boy, we got more Ash! Oh, thank you, mysterious voice. Oh shit, mwahahaha, ah fuck, it's Exdeath. So, seems like we've accidentally destroyed the crystals of this world.
I was over here all along! I don't know how you didn't notice me.
He temporarily turned back into a tree.
Alright, so I guess Exdeath is some kind of crystal necromancer, because every time crystals break, he then just summons their power to kick our ass.
Bow down before my crystals. Hate when middle-aged white women tell me that.
Alright, so... Hey Krill, can you sense how bad our asses are getting kicked? You can. Also, that's a
God.
really fucking good but violent line, Jesus.
What was Risky's line at the end of Shantae 1? I'm gonna dance on your runny innards or something? I also just remembered, the 5 is considered the goofy one. Like, this is the one that people don't take particularly seriously, and we have lines like, it's time for your viscera to see the light of day.
So, World 2 has been the story of Galuf and the Warriors of Dawn. After getting his memory back in World 1, he came back to his own world and tried to fight Exdeath, but thanks to his friends, realized, oh, I would have died if I had done a direct assault. And so we've had to make a few detours in the meantime. And on those detours, he learned that Bart's father was Dorgan, but also Dorgan died of disease long ago. Kelger is still alive, but he's in critical condition after overdoing it, and Jizat has also passed after concocting a plan that he could not survive. The writing has been on the wall for some time that the Warriors of Dawn are fading away, and now it's the time for the Warriors of Light. However, even if that is true, Galuf is not going to let anything go lying down. He is now going to charge Exdeath on fire. So, rip to anybody doing like a support Galuf, but this is the reason I always go for Monk Galuf. Because at this point, Galuf is on fire, has already taken fatal damage, and is just going to proceed to punch the ever-loving shit out of Exdeath. So, I've mentioned a lot about, you know, how really good the cinematography of this game is, as it were. But, you know, this game can make good scenes in ways that don't necessarily just involve, you know, doing things like other media would. I feel like this battle right here is a great example of using mechanics to just get across a story idea incredibly well. I don't know if this would be perfectly readable to somebody who's not at least familiar with Final Fantasy and how the games work, but as long as you do know Final Fantasy, I feel like everything we see here is pretty self-explanatory, and also the coolest shits. Exdeath is now going to hit Galuf with not just Flare, and not just Holy, but also Meteor, the other strongest spell in the game. Does not matter. There is no fail state. so once again, we're left here to mourn for a minute.
Although I will say, thinking of what other games Squaresoft was releasing around this time, this is not the most insane fucking thing I've seen in a Super Nintendo Squaresoft game. Like, this is heartrending, this is so well done and so sad, but I have to continue to shill for Live Alive. I'm sorry I'm like this. Hey, good news everyone, I can confirm the existence of an afterlife.
So, this far in, we are getting Krill as 6th Ranger of this game. But given how Final Fantasy V works, this is not a case of Galuf taking on all his stuff with him. Krill gains everything that Galuf had. So the torch has now been completely passed from the Dawn Warriors to the Warriors of Light. We just have a whole game's worth of backstory for Krill and why she's here. Grandpa was an original member of this team, but then he died while on fire, punching the final boss until he left.
It does create kind of a weird imbalance where two of the Warriors of Light are directly connected to the Dawn Warriors. Ferris and Lena aren't. I get maybe it would be boring if all four of them were directly connected.
Don't have a werewolf party member. I think if nothing else, it gives Bartz a bit more of a connection now. Because before, the party composition was all royalty and Bartz.
I mean, it's still all royalty and Bartz.
Yeah, but now two of them have something to talk about. Alright, so a lot of the forest was burnt down, but there's now a way to leave the General Moore area. And with that, we've done pretty much everything we can. And now that Galuf has passed and Krill is in the party, there is nothing stopping us from going directly to Exdeth's castle and kicking his ass. If we tried to go there early, you can't actually get through the castle. You cannot avoid this section of the game, even though the barrier tower went down a while ago. We will see what the deal with that is next time, however. Because we are done for the day, we're not gonna go right into the last dungeon, because that would be foolhardy. So, boy, feels bad overwriting this save file, but we will. And next time, on Final Fantasy V, we're going to storm Exdeth's castle and kick a tree's ass for Galuf.